What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Casual Corner. Today I will be profiling Magician Girl Shaddolls. So I came across the idea for this deck through a duel video I saw online, which I'll post the link in the description below. I liked the idea for the deck and decided to build my own version of the deck. So let's go ahead and get to it. So first, we do not run the OG Dark Magician Girl because she's bad and you should feel bad. Unfortunately, Konami didn't, make a retrain of this card that said something like she would gain 300 attack for every Magician Girl in either player's graveyard. Otherwise, she would have been usable. So just get the shit out of here. Okay, now on to the real deck profile. First, we run 3 Berry Magician Girls. So she is the searcher for the deck. She searches any Magician Girls and adds it to your hand. And of course, when an opponent declares an attack on Berry Magician Girl, she can change her battle position and then special summon a Magician Girl from the deck. So all in all, pretty useful. Second, one of my favorite Magician Girls is Apple Magician Girl. So one thing about this archetype is, why would your opponent willingly attack into you if they knew you could special summon a spellcaster and half their attack? So at least with Apple Magician Girl, they don't know what's in your hand, so you could be bluffing by just having her on the field. Also, the combo I really like to do is to have Apple on the field. If they do decide to attack into it, you'll special summon Chocolate from the hand, and then you have to redirect the attack to Chocolate, and then with Chocolate you could special summon a spellcaster from the graveyard and redirect the attack to that target. And of course, the attack of the monster gets quartered by doing so. And of course, next we play 3 Chocolate Magician Girls. She's a water monster, and her effect is you can discard a spellcaster type monster to draw a card, which is really nice, helps you dig into the deck. And of course, when she gets attacked, you can special summon a spellcaster, any spellcaster from the graveyard, have its attack, and have the monster redirect its attack to that target. Then, finally, to round off our Magician Girls, we play Kiwi Magician Girl. So, Kiwi Magician Girl is really nice. She can discard herself to give all of your Magician Girls 300 attack for every different name Magician Girl on the field and in the graveyard. So, in this deck, since we only run 4 Magician Girls, you can get a maximum of plus 1200 attack. Her continuous effect makes it so that spellcasters you control cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. So I really like that effect. However, she has nothing to protect her from battle, so most of the time if you have her on the field, the opponent just attacks into it and kills her. Finally, to round off our Magician spellcaster, if you run 1 DMOC, he helps us fetch some of the spells that are somewhat useful out of the graveyard. But all in all, this deck is kind of lacking a strong main deck boss monster. So DMOC is, I guess, the best monster I feel fits this role. Okay, now on to our Shaddolls. We play 2 Shaddoll Falcos. He is a tuner, and I mainly use him for that reason. Sometimes I use him to revive one of the Shaddoll boss monsters back from the graveyard. So I really like him for that purpose. Next, we have 2 Shaddoll Dragons. This card is amazing. So one thing that this deck suffers from is not having enough attack most of the times. So a lot of times you yourself can't declare an attack, but you're hoping your opponent will attack into you. So Dragon, if you set him face down, and when he gets flipped, of course he could target a card that your opponent controls, send it back to the hand. So I really like that use. Also, when Shaddoll Fusion's live, you send it from the deck, and he gets a pop of back row. Okay, and this deck does not like back row. Next, we run 2 Shaddoll Hedgehogs. Self-explanatory. It helps fetch a Shaddoll spell trap, and when it's sent to a graveyard using due to a card effect, you can fetch any Shaddoll monster. 1 Squamata. The reason why I run 1 Squamata is in case I have it in hand and Shaddoll Fusion cannot fuse from the deck, I can fuse with this, and Squamata will let me send any Shaddoll monster that I need from the deck to the graveyard to get its effect. Usually Dragon to pop back row. I run 1 Beast. Beast just helps me dig into the deck. Also, he's a 2200 spellcaster, so a lot of times if I have it in hand and Apple Magician Girl is being attacked, I would summon it. and the opponent will be forced to attack into this with their attack points halved. So pretty good. And to round off our monsters, we play 2 Maxx C for the extra draw power. I've been testing with Wonder Wand since most of the monsters in the main deck are spellcasters. However, I didn't like the fact that I had to send my monsters to the graveyard. I kind of want to keep them on field, so because of that, I chose Maxx C over Wonder Wand. Okay, now on to our spells. Of course, we play 3 Shaddoll Fusions. Helps us really dig into the deck if your opponent controls an extra deck monster. And, you know, I want to see it as much as I can. And this deck recycles this pretty often. Of course, any of the boss or fusion Shaddoll monsters, when they get sent to the graveyard, you can add this back to hand. Also, DMOC, if you need to, can fetch this back also. I don't run L Shaddoll Fusion, but if Construct was at 1, then I would run L Shaddoll Fusion. Okay, next is Secret Tech for this deck is Mass Change 2. Because we run so many different elements, well, primarily the elements that we care about is dark, water, and wind. Water is Chocolate Magician Girl, and wind is Kiwi Magician Girl. Wind, we go into Koga, and of course, water we go into, rather not Koga, I mean Divine Wind. Yeah, that's the correct one. And when we target, of course, Chocolate with Mass Change 2, we get Acid, which again helps clear back row. And of course, Danklaw, everything in this deck is the target for Danklaw. And to round off our spells, 1 Raigeki, because we like to blow shit up. Twin Twisters. Again, you guys notice with the theme of my videos, I don't like back row, so Twin Twisters. Feel free to run more if you want. I run 1 because I only have space for 1. 1 Magical Dimension. What can I say about Magical Dimension? The only reason I run it is because it's non-targeting destruction. Okay. But feel free to cut this out if you guys don't like it. It of course requires you to tribute 1, but at least it does make it up. You can special summon any spellcaster from your hand. And that makes our spells. Now for our traps, we run 2 Call of the Haunteds. So I've been debating for a very long time what revival cards would I want to run. I've tested Powerful Rebirth, and I tested, what's that one card? Pinpoint Guard, and I settled with Call the Haunted for a few reasons. First off, it can revive anything in the graveyard, whereas Powerful Rebirth and Pinpoint Guard have level restrictions. And also, in this deck, Call of the Haunted can actually dodge, or not dodge, but kind of nullify blind MSTs. So let's just imagine that we have our Call of the Haunted set, our opponent MSTs or Twin Twisters it, we chain, and when we chain, we actually want to revive, we could revive Kiwi Magician Girl. When Kiwi Magician Girl is on the field, spellcaster monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects, so Call of the Haunted would go, but Kiwi Magician Girl cannot be destroyed by Call of the Haunted's effect, so she would remain. Also, you can summon back Winda, and of course, Winda cannot be destroyed by card effects, so Call of the Haunted would just fall off, and she would be fine. And, of course, you could target any one of your Shaddoll monsters, and when it comes back, Call of the Haunted dies, and the Shaddoll monster gets sent to the graveyard, but it gets sent to the graveyard as a graveyard effect, so you do get their, do get the Shaddoll monster's effect. So because of that, I really like Call of the Haunted. Next, I run 2 Magician's Defense. This card makes it so that as long as you control a spellcaster, any damage you take is halved, but I don't really use it for that reason. Of course, this is to bait out blind MST. If you have set and they destroy it, when it gets sent to the graveyard because it was destroyed by a card effect, of course you could revive any spellcaster in your graveyard. So because of that, it's really good. Next, we run 1 Sinister Shadow Games. Explanatory or self-explanatory, we do run Shaddolls in the deck, and because of that, we also run 1 Shaddoll Core to help us with our fusions, I guess. Next, I run 1 Dark Renewal. This card would be a lot better if we had more dark spellcasters that are worth summoning from the deck, but generally, I use this card to summon out DMOC. Okay. And to round off our traps, we run 1 Drowning Mirror Force, 1 Storming Mirror Force, and finally 1 Solemn. So if you guys have more money, feel free to cut out some of the traps that are a little bit weaker and replace them with Solemn Strikes. Of course, Solemn Strikes will always be a good tech choice. Helps make the deck more resilient to monster effects. Okay, now on to our extra deck. First, our Shaddoll Fusions. We play 2 Winda, but my second Winda seems to have gone MIA. But just imagine there's a little invisible state here. There's 2 Windas, of course, 2 Shekinagas. Shekinaga targets, of course, are Berry Magician Girl and Maxx C. We run 1 El Shaddoll Grista, the target being, of course, Apple Magician Girl. 1 Anoyatilis, Chocolate Magician Girl. For our heroes, we run 1 Dark Law, 1 Divine Wind, and 1 Acid. For our synchros, we run 1 Arcanite Magician. This card is really good. Of course, you can make it with Falco and any level 5, so generally Beast or Winder herself. 1 Black Rose Dragon. This is non-destruction removal, which is always nice. And of course, 1 Trishula. This deck can make Trishula, so why not run it? And of course, to round out our synchros, we play 1 Virgil. He's a spellcaster. And our last 2 cards, of course, are Trapeze Magician, since most, or basically all the cards aside from Maxx C are spellcasters, and 1 Castell. If your deck can make rank 4s, you always run Castell. So that does it for the Magician Girl Shaddoll deck profile. If you guys have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. And if you guys want to see further videos, further deck profiles, please like and subscribe. Thank you.